What's going on, YouTube? It's your boy, CamATL, and welcome back to another MLB High Five video with your boy. Drop a like down below because I already know you're going to love it. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and comment anything in the comments section to enter your name into the $50 giveaway that I do every single week on this channel. I will be choosing that winner on Monday. So today is the last chance. I know I haven't had many videos this week. That's because there's been a lot of early slate MLBs. And like I told you guys, if there is a solid MLB early slate, I will be providing for that early slate. So I will be studying the early slate and won't have time to do videos on days where there are early slates. But on days where the slate is normal, I'll be on here every time. Have no fear. Cam is here. All right. Thank you guys for joining me as always. Greenlightdfs.com to join the squad for DFS. Greenlightbets.com to join the squad for the bets. And then GLDbreaks.com will be live breaking boxes tonight at 7 p.m. Central on this channel. All right, last time we did the box breaks on Wednesday, we hit 3 ultra rare cards in one night. That is unheard of. That is crazy. So that was fun. That was awesome. We got like a tiger print card, a zebra print, and some ultra rare Ronald Acuna worth like $1,000. So that was a fun live show for sure. If you have time later on tonight, come hang out and check it out with us. All right. Anyways, let's go ahead and get straight into this. You know I don't want to keep up too much of your time, man. Let's go ahead and smash this slate. Greenlightdfs.com. Let's get it. Starting off with the pitchers. The two pitchers that I'm really liking on this slate is going to be Chris Sale and Blake Snell. All right, Chris Sale's going against Texas, who is they have their moments, obviously. There's times where you think the matchup is just fantastic and they end up just going out there and dominating you. But here against Texas, at home in Boston, it's a solid spot here because at the end of the day, Sale has a high K rate. 28% to lefties, 37 to righties. His first start back against Baltimore, he struck out 8. He looked really, really good. He's at home going against a bad, watered-down Texas team that doesn't even have Gallo anymore. So I love Chris Sale. He's in a fantastic spot, and he's definitely a guy I want a ton of exposure to today. Next up, the SP2 was a bit of I was debating on it. You got Blake Snell, and you've got Sonny Gray, both guys who are solid SP2s on this slate. I like either one of them. They're both fine. I'm lean Blake Snell just because he's looked a lot better the last 3 starts than he did a lot of the earlier on in the season. He had games where he really got blown up multiple times, but that 42 against Arizona was definitely a bright spot. 13 Ks against Arizona August 8th. The best part too is Blake Snell is going to pitch deep. He's going to go over 100 pitches, which is something that you really, really love in DFS. All right, Philly strikes out almost 23% of the time versus lefties. San Diego are huge favorites at home in San Diego, which is a pitcher-friendly ballpark. I think Blake Snell is a solid, solid option. But same could be said for Sonny Gray as well against Miami. You can go either way. I'm going to take the savings, the $400 savings, and go Blake Snell. All right. First base, we got Arizona traveling to Colorado. That makes Christian Walker at 2-6, righty-lefty matchup. Gomber's been a solid pitcher this year for Colorado, don't get me wrong. Gomber has been solid, but at the end of the day, this is a power hitter in Christian Walker in Colorado at only 2-6. It's ridiculous. He's probably going to end up being super chalk, but there's no reason why you don't need to lock him in here. Plain and simple, he's too cheap. The only way you don't play him is if he ends up somehow not being in the lineup. All right, plain and simple. Outside of that, you play this guy in course with the righty lefty matchup against Gomber. All right, now in GPP, if you want to get lower owned, obviously you can fade off of him and maybe spend up at the spot where everybody's saving. You can spend up at the spot, maybe go Shohei or something like that. But Christian Walker in course, that's just a great spot. I get to play a Brave today because Ozzie Albies is one of my favorite bats on the entire slate. The Atlanta Braves have been incredibly hot. Now they get to go to Baltimore, which is a hitter-friendly ballpark, and they get to face a bad lefty in Aiken. It is a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful spot here, okay? Ozzie Albies crushes lefties. 275 ISO, 422 WOBA, over a 350 average versus lefties. He's just absolutely destroys lefties. And I know you're having to pay up for him as if he's in Coors, but I think this Atlanta offense is going to put up Coors-type numbers tonight, so I wouldn't worry too much about it. I think he should end up being low-owned because there's a game in Coors. A lot of people probably will go Garrett Hampson or something in Coors fours here. Ozzy Albies is a very solid. He's one of my favorite bats on the entire slate that I think is going to go low owned. And I think if you're playing GPPs tonight, make sure you got some Ozzy Albies and you get some Austin Riley and those guys from Atlanta, because I think Atlanta's going to go crazy tonight. Speaking of that, while I'm talking of that, one guy I didn't look into before I started the live was Soler. Soler's 4.6. He's another guy that I really love. 261 ISO versus lefties, so consider Soler for sure. How much is Dansby Swanson today? I am checking on Swanson. Dansby's 5.6, so you're having to pay up for him. I prefer Ozzy. Ozzy's my favorite Atlanta bat. He crushes lefties, and he's the guy I really, really have interest in. Last but not least, the price is way too cheap. I've been playing a lot of this guy lately, Justin Upton. He's going to have the righty-lefty matchup against Hentges, unless they change starting pitchers and have a righty out there. I like this righty-lefty matchup against for Justin Upton. Upton hits lefties very, very well. He's got 2 home runs in the last 4 games, and one of the games he wasn't even playing. So out of his last 3 active games, he's got 2 home runs. He's been seeing the ball very well. He's got the righty-lefty matchup, and he's only 2.7. All right, so and they're going to Cleveland, which is a more hitter-friendly ballpark than the Los Angeles is. So Chris Sale, Blake Snell, or like I said, you can go with Sonny Gray there if you would like. Christian Walker, Ozzy Albies, and Justin Upton. I will tell you this. A lot of these players that are popping hard on the optimizer today, my gut is all over today. Toscar Hernandez, my gut loves. Ozzy Albies, love. Like a lot of these guys that the optimizer is all over right now. So I feel like this could possibly, for GPPs, be a big day for the optimizer today. So definitely take advantage. If you grab a package, MLB membership package, take advantage that you get free optimizer access and you build these GPP lines with this. This optimizer literally builds for upside, builds for GPP. It is not building for safety. It doesn't give a shit about being safe. It takes, you know what I mean? It takes those shots, and you really have huge upside potential with this optimizer. So definitely play with this and take advantage of it. Play a couple cheap GPPs or something if you're just getting into it, and try to work your way up. But we're also making some upgrades to the optimizer as well that'll be active within a couple weeks or so. So just practice with it, especially if you just want to throw some couple cheap GPPs in alongside the single entry double ups like you're supposed to be playing every night. And yeah. Let's switch over to FanDuel. Remember to stay till the end for home run predictions, by the way, as well. All right, so pitching over here on FanDuel. So we got Chris Sale's 10.7 over here, so he's not a deal over here. Blake Snell's 9K, Sonny Gray 8.3. Man, with Sonny Gray being cheaper over here, I'm probably going to side that way just for now. Who knows? I mean, I could end up going Blake Snell. I could end up going Sale. Who knows? But those 3 are my main guys I have my eyes on right now. The optimizer really loves Sonny Gray because it expects Blake Snell's ownership to be much higher. So in GPP, Sonny Gray pivot is genius. All right. Now, if Sonny Gray goes off for 40 and if Blake Snell goes off for 40 and Sonny Gray gets blown up somehow against Miami, then obviously it'll turn bad for you. But in GPP, those kind of moves is what gets you that top spot, because the same scenario could happen. Blake Snell is probably going to be high owned tonight, and if he ends up being in the optimizers predicting him to be high owned, which is why he's lower than Sonny Gray right now, because I have both of these guys as a toss up. The only thing that puts Sonny Gray above Blake Snell on my optimizer is because Sonny Gray is more of a GPP play, where Blake Snell's going to have higher ownership, Sonny Gray's going to have lower ownership, and that's what you want to take advantage of in GPPs. All right. So yeah. Sonny Gray is a Jedi pivot off of Blake Snell for GPPs. I just want to mention that once again. And like I said, the optimizer is building for that. Okay? Remember, this optimizer builds for GPP. So certain guys who are super projected to be super high owned, the optimizer is going to be on guys in equal situations that are going to be lower owned. All right? All right, next up, let's go ahead and talk about these hitters real quick. Let's see who is sticking out here. Toscar's 3.8. Ozzy Albies is priced up a little bit over here at 4.4. Ooh, Randall Grichuk. Randall Grichuk is in a solid spot. Let me see. Was Toronto? Let me see. Toronto's facing a lefty too. Randall Grichuk. Yes, sir. They're going against Alexander. Randall Grichuk at 2.5 is way too cheap. Let me see what his price was over on. He's 3.6 over on DraftKings. Randall Grichuk crushes lefties. 248 ISO, 357 WOBA. He hits lefties amazing. And over here on FanDuel, he's too cheap at 2.5 in my opinion. That's why the optimizer's on him as one of the top bats. So I really, really love him. The optimizer, one thing I've noticed is, as you can see, take a look at this. One thing I've noticed Toscar Hernandez, Vladimir, Bo Bichette, Randall Grichuk. There's 4 bats in the top, just what you can see right here in top total hitters of the day over here. What does that tell you? That means the optimizer thinks Toronto is going to be absolutely ridiculous and possibly have lower ownership than they should, which means maybe you should play some lineups with them. All right? All right, anyway, let's go point per salary and see what else we got. Even though we have the opportunity, we do have the ability to be able to spend up at a few spots. So let me go ahead and see what player I want to spend up for. So Toscar Hernandez at 3.8 feels good. So I'm going to get a couple Toronto bats, and then I'm going to get out of that. Probably go Ozzie Albies or Austin Riley. Let's put Austin Riley in just because he's cheaper than Ozzie Albies by what is that, 600. But Ozzie Albies is my favorite bat on the entire slate. I'll make that known. So if instead of Riley, you could easily go Albies there. All right, I do not care. All right, Sonny Gray, Albies, Riley, whatever, Grichuk, Toscar is the core over on FanDuel. Like I said, Sonny Gray is the way I'm leaning because over here on FanDuel, Sonny Gray is cheaper by 700 to Blake Snell, whereas over on DK, Blake Snell's cheaper than Sonny Gray. So it's better value over here, and I like these guys fairly equalish. And for GPPs especially, if Blake Snell or Chris Sale is going to be super high owned, it is sneaky to go Sonny Gray for that as well. A lot of times, guys, I build and I promote single entry double ups, and that's what I still recommend. When I speak about GPP, I'm meaning like when I talk about y'all playing GPP, I talk about the small ones that you enter outside of it. Once you enter your single entry double ups, like if you're a regular DFS player, you're not a shark who enters hundreds of lineups every day and just plays, the numbers and just hopes to hit a bullseye throwing in a million darts, right? If you're not one of those people and you don't play a large amount of money every night, put majority of your bankroll that you're willing to play with in single entry double ups and then sprinkle in a couple cheap GPPs. You know what I mean? That way, if any of those cheap GPPs happen to hit first place, that's awesome. And it still gives you that excitement of possibly getting a takedown, whereas, you know what I mean? Where you're still playing it safe. So if the GPPs don't hit, you're still doubling your money in double ups most days. You know what I mean? So, all right. And that's it. Let's do the home run predictions real quick. Let me pull up my home run predictions, and we will head on out of here, y'all. We do have preseason NFL once again. We got a takedown in some contest yesterday in NFL preseason. Today, we have 2 preseason NFL games. We will be providing for that once again. So roll on over to greenlightdfs.com to join the squad on that. Let me pull up these home run predictions. All right. First and foremost, I got to go Ozzie Albies. I think Ozzie Albies is going to get one, and Austin Riley. I'm going to put both of those Atlanta bats in there. All right. Then we're going to go Christian Walker. That's 3. All right. So Ozzie Albies, Austin Riley, Christian Walker, and then I want to go Grichuk and Toscar from FanDuel. All right, I'm going to go a couple Toronto bats. I really love Grichuk and I really love Toscar on Toronto because these guys just have great power versus lefties and they're in fantastic spots. So Ozzie Albies, Austin Riley, Christian Walker, Grichuk, and Toscar are the home run predictions of the day. Obviously, if you have the money, Tatis is a good home run call. Vladimir Guerrero is a good home run call. Ohtani is a good home run call. But, I mean, you're going to have to pay super high for all of those guys. I do like the fact that Ohtani's only 100 more than Albies. That seems like a good deal. But Albies, like I said, is probably my favorite bat on the slate. I think he's going to go off today. If he doesn't, then so be it. But I think he's honestly going to go off. As you can see with my projections, Tatis and Toscar are the only 2 guys above Ozzie. Toscar's fantastic value over on FanDuel, seeing that I haven't projected higher than Albies. I love Toscar Hernandez. I think he's going to have a huge game. Albies, I love today. Personally, I really love him today. All right. Sonny Gray, Albies, Grichuk, and Toscar. DraftKings core was, switch over there, Sale, Snell, or Sonny Gray, Christian Walker, Ozzie Albies, and Justin Upton for the value. Thank you guys for joining me as always. Let's get this money. And I'm out. Peace.